Hey guys, it's Bubba, and this is...
Future Mrs. Bubba.
Yeah, that's right. This is my fiance Laura, and we just thought it'd be fun to get on the blog and tell you guys the story of our engagement since a lot of you are asking, and so we thought we'd share that with you. The first half is going to be told by myself, and the second half will be told by Laura, and we'll feel free to interrupt each other if necessary. So yeah, do you have anything to say? No? Alright, so this is how it went down. So, I'm a genius, okay? That's all you need to know. I'm brilliant. I've been playing this for a while, since like last summer. I knew I was going to get engaged to Laura, and man, I'd been saving for a long time and everything like that. And so I asked her dad in October of 2010, and it was really cool. And so I got his permission, and her sister ran the Pittsburgh Marathon last year, and she wanted to qualify for Boston, which her and her husband did. And so they knew they were going to run the Boston Marathon since last year. So as soon as I knew they were going to run the Boston, I said, hey, that's where I'm going to propose to Laura. It's a special city. We love it, and that'll be a great, great engagement weekend. So I had that planned. Asked her dad in October, planned it out with him and some other people. And so, but my whole plan, at least on my side of the story, was to fool Laura as much as I could. Like, I wanted to drive her to utter insanity, thinking that I would never propose to her, which I did. And so I basically...
Bad idea. That was a horrible idea. Boys don't ever do that.
It all paid off.
No.
I'd be like, Laura, I don't have like $5 saved in my account towards this ring.
Yeah, he was like, go check my bank account. I have no money saved at all. He's like, there's no plan. I don't know what I'm doing yet. So I'm like, okay, there's really no plan, and you made it sound like you didn't even want to get married.
There's always a plan. The moral of this entire engagement story is to prove to you all that I know what I'm doing in life, even though none of you think I do. But anyway, I had this all planned, knew I'd do it in Boston, so weeks leading up, I'm like, Laura, I don't have any money, and she was freaking out. Her dad actually had to come to me twice throughout the whole process, and he had to be like, Bubba, man, you really need to talk to Laura, and you need to make her feel secure, because she's like, what is going on with this guy? He doesn't know what he's doing. He doesn't have a plan.
First of all, we've been dating almost a decade. A decade!
You're no longer allowed to interrupt.
That's all I'm saying.
So anyway, long story short, she kept wanting to go ring shopping, and I knew if I took her ring shopping, she might guess that I do it in Boston. So I'm like, I'm not taking her ring shopping until the week of. So I keep being like, oh, I don't know, I want to know kind of what my budget will be and all these things. So the genius that I am, the week before I knew I was going to propose, I said, hey, why don't we go ring shopping? Took her ring shopping. I took her to Pandora to get her a charm, and I'm like, this will be the day that we always remember that we went ring shopping, and you can have a nice charm. And so she did that, and so then we went to these like diamond stores in the mall, and I acted so dumb. They were like, man, do you know what color and clarity you want? And I'm like, color? I'm like, are there purple diamonds? Green ones? And Laura's like, oh my gosh, you idiot. Like, who am I dating? And so I played so dumb the entire time. Laura had no idea. And so we're on the way home from the mall, and Laura's like, Bubba, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. She actually started crying, and she was like, this means so... I probably should have told that, but she was like, this is such a special moment for me. She's like, can I tell my dad? Can I tell my dad? I'm like, geez, we just went ring shopping. So I'm like, Laura, listen. I'm like, please don't tell your dad, because I haven't talked to him yet. And I'm like, it'll be really awkward. I'm like, you can tell him after I leave, but I wanna talk to him first. And so we get to her house, and she was like, Dad, Bubba got me a Pandora charm. It's so sweet. And he's like, oh, that's nice. And then she's like, she looks at me and she's like, and he took me ring shopping. And
First of all, that's a horrible impression.
And actually,
that's a horrible impression.
She danced like this. She was like,
I would never dance like that.
That's how she danced.
That is awful.
So that was the end of the week, and then we went to Boston. I'll let Laura take over from here, and she can say whatever she wants.
Whatever I want, really.
Again, the moral of the story is I know what I'm doing.
Okay, so that was like 4 minutes long. Okay, so I went into Boston thinking I have no idea, like, if he even has plan, money, but at least we went ring shopping, so there's a step in the right direction. So, you're ruining my story. So, we left Saturday morning at like 3 in the morning. Well, I got up at 3 in the morning and had like 3 hours of sleep because we were packing. And we got on the plane, and I was like, I'm not a morning person at all, and so I was in my sweatpants And did you choose two? Really? You're disgusting. Don't even, there we go. So, it was like 3 a.m, and I was just kind of grumpy, and he's like all giddy for some reason. He's all in this like happy mood. And so, he was poking me and petting me and trying to annoy me the whole time we were on the plane. And, and finally we got there, and at like 10 a.m, and the plan was to, he emailed me the week before and said, why don't we start this new tradition of going out to eat every trip we go on as like a mini date. And I thought that was a great idea. Stop it. He's tickling me. And so we got to Boston, and Bubba, I can't do this. Okay, we got to Boston, and we were going to go to the Top of the Hub restaurant, which is this really gorgeous restaurant in Boston on the top of the Prudential building. It's like the 52nd floor. And we got in around 10 a.m., and our room wasn't ready yet, so we got ready in a locker room. All I wanted to do was wear sweatpants. I didn't really want to go out anywhere nice. And he's like, let's get dressed up. And I was like, no, we're wearing jeans, if that, because I just want to wear sweatpants. It's so early in the morning. I'm not even awake yet. I just need a cup of coffee. And he's like, well, let's go to lunch. And so we got on the train, and we were supposed to get off this one stop to get to the restaurant. And he's like, oh, we're going somewhere else first. And I was like, oh, where are we going? And he's like, we're going to the public gardens. And so we walked around Boston Commons, the gardens. It was really pretty in Boston. We took some pictures, got some Starbucks, and we walked down to these boats in the middle of Boston. They're called the Swan boats. And there was a lot of people riding them. It was like the opening day for the Swan boats because it was the beginning of spring. And he's like, why don't we go take a ride in the Swan boats? And at first, that's normally something I would love to do. So my initial reaction was, yes, I would love to go in the Swan boats. But then I looked at the people, and they all had like their hoods up, and they were like shivering on the Swan boats, and I was like, I don't really want to go on the Swan boats. Do you have anything to say about the Swan boats?
Nope.
Okay, well, he originally was going to ask me on the Swan boats. He reserved 2 benches in the back to ask me on the Swan boats, but I refused to go on the Swan boats because it was too cold. So anyway, his plan was ruined. So he's like texting people or doing something on his phone, and I'm like, what are you doing? Do you need we don't need directions. It's the tallest building. We're going to the top of the Prudential building. And he's like, oh no, I'm just texting or, trying to find directions and whatever. And he was kind of fumbling and getting nervous. And then he's like, I gotta go to the bathroom. So I'm like, okay, we'll find a bathroom then. Meanwhile, he was like texting. Do you want to tell your part of the story?
Sure. I was just texting. Oh, so I was texting the lady from the Swan boats because I was trying to get there, and then when I realized that didn't work out, when I made reservations, I realized that, oh my gosh, like, I told them that I'd either be coming in engaged or that I'd be getting engaged there, and I was so worried that when we got to the restaurant that they would be like, congratulations, and I'd be like, I'm gonna kill you. And so I was trying to contact them as much as I could, and so I tried to get away and distract Laura. I won't tell that story, that's for sure.
Tell it.
But no. But it was a bubble moment for sure.
You said you had an itchy butt.
Why would you tell me that? I did not do that. So, anyway, we went to the Top of the Hub, and I'll let Laura tell the rest.
So
but anyway, I was really, really frantic, and I ended up not being able to contact them ahead of time, and so I didn't know what to expect when we got to the restaurant.
And so we got to the Top of the Hub. I had to use the restroom, which was perfect because you got to talk to the waiter and the host or the hostess and tell them that we weren't engaged yet and that, he was going to propose there. So we got a beautiful view of the entire city. It was so beautiful. And we looked at the menu, and I was like, I want lobster chowder or whatever. What do you want? And he's like, and he was just like looking at the menu. And I was like, okay, let's just order. So we ordered some lunch, but then the waiter came over and he's like, can you hold the soup 10 minutes? And I was like, why are you holding the soup 10 minutes? What the heck? And he gets out this box, and it was actually a Pandora box wrapped with a Pandora ribbon. And he's like, don't worry, it's not a ring, it's just Pandora. And I'm like, okay, I wasn't even thinking it was a ring anyway. But, and he got me this really pretty charm that was 2 engagement rings. I don't know if you can see it. It's that one. It was really pretty. And so then he gave me this beautiful card. Can I tell the card part? Okay.
Bubble
And
moment 2.
At moment number 2, first he said he had an itchy butt, which was kind of ruining the moment.
Stop saying
The
that.
second one, he said on the card, it was this really, really nice card. And at the end, it was like, now, look into my eyes. And he didn't sign the card. And so I was like confused. And I like look over at him to look at his eyes. And he gets down on one knee and he starts giving the speech first. And I'm not really like paying attention to the speech because I'm like, why didn't you sign the card? And what's going on? I'm so, why'd you ask to hold the soup to the waiter? And I'm trying to like analyze everything in my head. And then he's just like saying, and then at the end of his speech, he's kind of like, well, I had a speech prepared, but I don't remember everything. And he gets down on one knee and he like opens his box up and asks me like, will you marry me? I'm like, what? I was complete shock, absolute complete shock. I had no idea what was going on. And I was like, yes, yes. And I just like still was in shock and I'm processing it all. And then I'm like, where'd you get the money? Where'd you get the ring? When did you pick it out? Did you tell my dad? And I just started asking all these questions. And he's like, dude, I'm a freaking baller. And he like tells me like this whole story about how he's been playing this for the past year. And I just started crying, just bawling because I was just so excited and just so honored and blessed and just overwhelmed with the journey that we've been on together and just so excited to spend the rest of my life with him. And it was just awesome. So it was a huge, complete surprise. I don't know if you could see it, but this is the ring. It's gorgeous. It's so beautiful. It sparkles. And it's amazing. And he's amazing. And so then the rest of the weekend, it was awesome because he did it early in the weekend. So we got to spend the whole rest of the weekend hanging out in Boston. And then he gave me a huge bouquet of flowers. And then when we got home, he made me this giant book of all the pictures we've ever taken together and said it's the most amazing journey we've ever been on. It was awesome.
So there you have it. There's our engagement story. More of the story is I always know what I'm doing. And I just want to say I'm marrying way up. I'm so blessed to be with Laura. She's the best thing that ever happened to me. She's my best friend in the entire world, and I'm so excited to marry her. Wedding plans, just so you know, we'll probably get married in Bar Harbor, Maine in 2012. More details coming soon. Stay tuned. Thanks for sticking around. This was a 12-minute video, but I hope you enjoyed it, and we love you, and hope you have a great day.
Bye.